Good afternoon from, I think today's summer. It is a Sunday. Blue sky, occasional cloud. Shoulder a bit poorly. Ironically enough, Cat's shoulder, same shoulder, she's got poorly. Very warm, barbecue day, Peterborough. Right, what can I chat to about you today? Something that was brought up a few weeks ago, and it was contractors and after sales service. So you know that I had a bit of an issue with EA, which is now sorted out, and I had my 5 bricks missing, which is now sorted out. So I'm just basically asking for other people, which koi shops, which building contractors, fibreglassers, roofers, anything to do with the pond, who would you recommend in your area, so when people read your comment they can pick up on that, generate maybe or hopefully a bit of local business. I had a guy called Steve Dupre who does all my building. He's probably spent over a year in work time with the house and the pond, so I'd quite happily recommend Steve Dupre as a builder. And as you know, Matt Williams, quality job, classic job, does it right first time, which is what people want. And after sales, if I were to need him for anything, which to be honest, no, I needed him for anything because the jobs have been perfect. So if you're over my neck of the woods, Steve Dupre is a builder, Matt Williams, GRP Lining Services as a fibreglasser. Put down in the comments so people in your area will see that and tell me why they should be recommended, really. Right, let's have a look at filter house, greenhouse. I'll follow you. Fixed. Feeding. Right, the upflow filter is working absolutely perfect, but the valve is still passing this valve, and I'm not too concerned about that. One thing that was mentioned quite some time ago, and you might not have picked up on it, but Ken Simpson, Doubling Koi, got in touch with me about the left hand longest probe, and he has the Dutch to English version of the manual. I got the Quenny Koi version of the manual, and it does actually say that the longest third probe on the left hand side is not used, so that answers a lot of questions, so I hope that helps. One thing that I did see at the Quenny Koi show, no, the BKKS Coventry show, and Quenny Koi were there, was they had some combi filters and they had showers over the top of the combi filters. So is there anything that I could actually build that sits over the top of that biochamber? Maybe a shower of some kind? Let me know. Somebody out there may well have a system, Profits will do it, where you've got a shower over the top of your combi filter. In a nutshell, I'm trying to find something to do, keep me occupied. I know I do my cleaning, I know I do my cooking. I need another task. Right, those of you who've been following the channel for quite some time, you know that I got myself a plastic welder and I made this. Here's one I didn't prepare earlier, I guess. So I wanted to use this on the side of the pond Now I can fit a 3-inch tank connector in the back, and then hopefully Cat can plant some, I don't know, mind your own business, angel tears, whatever it's called, and instead of the stainless steel one that I've got fitted, basically test drive this. It might work, it might not work, but I quite fancy a go of that. And while I'm sat under here, these are the original pond covers. Now when those were fitted, they were at ground level, and as you know, I fastened some string to them and you were able to lift them up quite easily and move them. Now that we've gone up 2 foot, and the fact that both of us ain't got a pair of working shoulders between us, we've got to provide covers for the pond over winter that we can get on and off. So here's the conundrum. I can buy some 16mm polycarbonate that covers the whole lot in one sheet. I think it's 243 quid, but delivery is on top of that, so quite expensive. But I've got to manufacture something so they're easy to take on and off. The only way that I can see that happening is to cut it into perhaps 4 pieces so we can lift it on and off. But I've got to have some kind of handle on it. We've got to be able to take it off individually, so we're not dependent on each other to take the whole lot off. So something that'll span across, cut into 4 pieces, some kind of handle on that we can lift on and off. What do you use? Let me know and get back to me. But I'm gonna have to buy them quick, because as today's summer, tomorrow could be winter. I'll get back to you. A couple of years ago there was a band from Southampton who were crowdfunding for their next album, which has just come out, and they wanted money and they were willing to give bits and pieces in order to generate some funds. And one of them was, would you like to appear in a music video? Now I mentioned this a couple of years ago. Those new subscribers who want a little bit of fun, it's only 2 minutes 45 seconds, do a search for this song. And if you look right at the very end, all dressed in black, you will see Cat, my wife. What we had this morning as well, I've just recalled it, is I came outside to the summer room and there was water all over the floor. And this Kohaku that's been playing silly buggers this paving stone was soaked to a point where I thought we had a leak. So I looked through the footage for this camera, and while the nets were over, the Kohaku leapt up, this is Davina, hit the net, splashed, and all the water dropped out here. So straight away thinking, oh, more parasites. But other fish seem to be giving it unwanted attention. So although we found Trichodina on Davina 2 weeks ago now, 10 days ago, is part of it because she was getting, perhaps it's a she, unwanted attention. I know there's like double spawnings that people are suffering with, maybe treble spawnings, but we're going to do a scrape tomorrow because today's barbecue day, and we shall have a look. Look at the clarity of that water. That's 5.5 feet down. So yeah, hopefully the scrape will reveal nothing and it was just purely spawning. We shall see. Right, the feeder, superfish feeder, is working absolutely spot on, but I have mixed in some wheat germ, some new food that we got from JKI, and some existing food that we got from Evolution Aqua, with the hope that if we can mix stuff in the food that the fish have eaten, they might switch on to the JKI food. Now, when we programmed the superfish feeder, I think it was about 6 feeds a day, because all our fish are not massive. I ended up with a lot of food on the surface, so it's a case of, do they just not like one element of the food, therefore they're not eating any of it, because there was a total mix on the surface of the water. It was everywhere. So I turned the feeder, I've got sparrows there on the window, I turned the feeder back to default setting, and now it only feeds at 10 o'clock, so we've gone back to hand feeding. With that in mind, when we hand feed, we put some treats in. So we put a mix of treats and standard food, and all the treats just went, the standard food was left behind. Ah, clever these koi. So now what we've done is put the mixed feed back in and held off on the treats, and they are now eating the mixed food. And I know wheat germ fanatics are like, oh, it's a winter food. We needed to try and switch them on to this new JKI food, which is an all year food, just for a change, just so we can keep them involved, just so we can mix and match various foods instead of just sticking to the same one, because to be honest, anyone in the animal kingdom isn't wanting to eat the same thing every day, surely not. You need a bit of variety in your diet. So one or two things to think about there. Just to reiterate, after sales service and contractors, who do you recommend in your area? We're going to do a scrape on the fish, which you know about. Valves, if you get solenoid valves or Fibre, there could be a chance that they will stick or pass. Keep an eye on that. Jumping fish, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And please tell me what covers you use for your pond. Do you use a flexible cover? Do you use one that's bungee ropes down? Do you use polycarbonate? The thickness of polycarbonate that I can go to with money in mind is about 16mm, and I know that will not keep the heat retention in, but it'll keep the wind chill factor off. So a bit to think about. Sorry for harping on, but anyway, we're gonna have a barbecue now. Enjoy your weekend. 2 jabs, stay safe. Goodbye.